everyone, it's Marcia Caradinsa. I've decided to create an additional project video for you using the limited edition Game On box. I actually wanted to create two actual boxes, little gift boxes, treat boxes. I will be sure to add all of the measurements in the description and or put them all on my blog. So if I don't have them listed below, I will have my blog link there and they will be listed on my blog. But just briefly, the first one that we will assemble will be a game controller box. So this box is going to be not quite as deep as the other box I'll be making. This one will stand about 1 inch tall. It is 6 inches long by 3 inches wide. And I went ahead and cut the bottom and the top, and I'll just show you quickly how to assemble the boxes. And as you see, when you cut them, you want to cut straight on these sides and then dart these side panels here. That's what we will be tucking in and gluing here. You could use score tape or glue. I'm just going to use wet glue because I have that handy. So I just want to show you how quick it is to make your own boxes. If you're not good at coming up with the measurements yourself, I will be sure to provide those for you. Just as a note, one thing that I have found easy that a lot of other box makers, if you will, have also done is when measuring for the lid, you want to make sure, and I've got that in the measurements, but you want to add 1/8 of an inch to your length and your width. But when you score for your edges, like again, this one, I just turn my paper and score 1 inch on all edges. So for the lid, it's only gonna have 1/2 inch here for the lid depth, I guess. So to make sure that the top of the lid is just a bit larger than the bottom of the box so it can fit on easy, it's not too tight. Again, just turn and score, turn and score. And that way you don't have to try to do some weirdo scoring at, 1/8 inches and stuff. So for the lid, it's 1/2 inch. So you're just gonna turn and score 1/2 inch on all 4 sides and then cut as I've shown you. For the base, we do the same thing for the lid. Okay, so let's assemble the base. I'm using a light gray cardstock. You can use whatever you want, especially for the base. You're not really gonna see it much except for that little edge around it. So that's the base of our box. Again, as you see, I cut straight up on the sides here and darted just for these little tabs. So I'm gonna add glue there, tuck it under, hold to glue. Again, you could use, oops, I didn't hold that one long enough. You could use score tape, any kind of tacky tape. My daughters are trying to be very patient with me. My husband is out of town, so I'm trying to get all these projects wrapped up with some bonus videos. So, it makes it easier for some people to have a visual like this. And I like to create non-cards. So, videos sometimes take the guesswork out for some people who need to see it in video form. This is a pretty heavyweight cardstock. It will support the box better. Probably like a 110-pound index weight, something heavy. You could use a lighter weight. I wouldn't use, a paper. That just won't be sturdy enough. But these would be perfect for a birthday gift or something for a kid or a grown-up. A grown-up my age who might remember game controllers like this. Now, because the lip on this box is only 1/2 inch, and you see that's not exactly like straight, that does not bother me. If that bothers you, you can trim this off. It's just from me twisting and scoring. My scores were probably not super precise, but as you'll see here, something yucky in the box. The lid goes on without much effort. See? Sits on there nicely and comes off easily. So I'm gonna set the base aside. Okay, and I'm using the video game scene builder dies that came in the box. Again, I did another video showing you how to assemble the go-kart dies. This one, I'm utilizing various pieces from the video game scene builder dies. Okay, so again, this is about a 1/6 and an 1/8 by 3 1/8. And I cut a black panel that is 2.5 inches tall by 5 3/4 inches long, and we're gonna glue this on here, leaving a little bit of a wider gray margin there along the top. Yep, messy gluer. Try to keep my glue standing up so I don't have to fight it coming out. Try to get it even in there. I'm looking at the bottom corners. Okay. And then using the die pieces, I use the top of the pipe, this piece here with the stitching. I cut this 4 times from gray. I have a 5th one over here just in case we need it, but I don't think we're going to need it. So I'm just gonna kind of lay this out so you can see before we glue everything down. I might need that. Yep, I might need that, maybe not. We'll put 3, yeah, that'll work. 3 above, 1 below. This little piece here is 1/2 inch tall by 1 3/4 inch long. Okay, so each of these little top pipe pieces is 1 3/4 inches, so that's why I chose that one. This one just needed to be a little bit wider. And to create these little black button pieces that we will glue on, this brick outline piece, I just die cut it from black. And of course you're gonna need it from black anyways when you make the scenes, and use 2 of the brick pieces like this. They fit quite nicely there as buttons. Okay, for the 2 buttons here on the side, I used this block die, the open block die. Don't mind the kitty cat hairs. To cut that here, we might have to shift this around a little bit. I tried to figure out a way to create the plus sign controller piece. I couldn't figure out a good way. I was partially die cutting this and then trying to cross the pieces. That just didn't look right. So I created a template. First I cut a 1/4 inch strip of paper and then 2 1-inch sections, glued them together, try to make it as evenly as possible to create my template. And I've got pictures of this that I'll put on my blog. And then I trace this template both on black paper and this same gray paper. And then to cut out the black piece, I cut just inside my pencil lines. And for the gray piece, you'll see I cut just outside the pencil lines because I wanted to make sure that there was a margin around it so it wouldn't just look black on black. So that will go here. And then I stamped the Have a Super Birthday. This is a buildable sentiments. Have a Super Birthday in red on white, and that will go right here. So I won't waste your time and glue everything together on here because I want to show you the top of the other box assembly. So you could decide to leave it just like this, or you could add a character to the mix, which would be really fun. And if you didn't want to have to bother with this piece, you could put your character there instead, but I think it is still fun. And once you create your template, you won't have to do it again. So it'll be ready for you anytime you want to recreate this look. So again, something like that or any of the other characters. Oh, and then for the buttons on these gray pieces, man, I went back and forth. You could use the enamel dots that come in the box. They're a little bit small, but they still work. Or if you had some buttons, I know Audra does have this Buttons and Galore, these box sets, and they have buttons in them. Those do fit a little bit better in here, and it gives it some fun dimension. So you could definitely put some buttons on there And that looks pretty complete there. So that's the box top. Again, if you wanted to kind of give it an even more authentic look, you could take a black ribbon or something or a string and come, you know, just kind of put it out the top a little bit, and that could look really cute too. So that's the game controller box. And now we're going to create one that's quite a bit deeper. This box is 2 inches deep at the base. We've got a 1-inch depth to the lid. The assembly is going to be just the same as the game controller box, but this one is 4 1/8, again, because the lid is 1/8 of an inch bigger in width and height. So it's 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. So you're going to have a much deeper box, but it's squattier. Okay, and I just wanted to show you briefly a fun way that you could decorate it. So using various pattern papers from the box, I have a panel here to glue onto the top. This panel, I love the paper on the back side. Don't worry, I use that in one of my projects. I make a Rolodex card using that paper. I think it's so fun. I love the colors. So we're gonna use this because it looks, you know, it's like the checkered flag. So we're gonna glue this on, and we're gonna mat the side panels as well. So just to show you how fun it is, how much you can dress this up, especially when you're dealing with something that has a bit more depth and dimension. I also love the way boxes look when the lid doesn't quite go all the way down to the bottom. I think it's kind of fun. I'm gonna try to match the pattern design to both, like the direction. Going in the same direction, I'll have to turn it. It's hard for me to see where that goes there. So you see I cut all these little pieces I think a 1/4 inch shorter all the way around. So because it's 1 inch tall here, it's 3/4 inch high, and then the length here was, I think, 2 7/8 for these 2 panels, and then these again. Which one should we put on the front? I might put this one on the front. These again, 3/4 of an inch tall by 3 7/8 inches long. Because remember, we're subtracting 1/4 of an inch from 4 1/8 inches. So again, 1/4 inch by 3 7/8 on the long sides, and then 1/4 of an inch by 2 7/8 inches. I hope I said that right the first time. Oh no, I did bring a pen because my glues, I need to clean the nozzle, I think. Oh, come on.
Do it.
Get in there.
Are you gonna knock it?
You know, when your glue starts to, you've been using it long enough, it starts to funky itself out. Okay. And this adds even more stability to the lid of your box because you've got that heavier weight patterned paper reinforcing it. And again, once it's assembled, all these will tuck under so you can get a visual of that, like that. And how fun is that with the patterns around it? I think it's so cute. See, so that's how that will look. And then to decorate the top, I thought we could simply add Plumber in his go-kart with the sentiment, "Let's a party." I just matted it with a piece of black so it would stand out more. And using one of the clouds from the Scene Builder dies, we could add one of those either just above or just off to the side here. Maybe we'll add it off to the side here to kind of break up some of that pattern. And that's how I would finish this box. Okay, so I'll have all the completed projects photographed and posted on my blog, again, with the measurements. But I thought it might be fun for you to have a visual of what everything kind of looked like and how easy it is to really assemble these 3-dimensional projects. So anyways, I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.